I'm joined by artist and author Susan Lenart Kazmer for Shipwreck Beads, and Susan makes incredible, really art pieces and also jewelry as well. And you're going to show us how to make this really cool, very artistic ring. And okay, show us what the components are and how to make this really interesting piece.
Okay, well this is actually all cold connections, which is what I do. That is my specialty, is cold connections. So nothing is soldered. I work with metals, nothing is soldered. I'm just going to take a large head pin, and anytime I work with glass, I use washers as bumpers. You know, if you think about how you work with wood or anything, you really want to put some washers on there. So I'm going to put it on the top and the bottom for this piece. Now I'm actually working with 2 disc shapes. You can get these discs. You can order them from any metal, cut to size. What I did though is I dapped them out, and I want to show you the dapper. Okay. This is the dapper, and this is the setter, and this is actually going to give me a nice concave curve that really is in the same shape as the bead. So I'm just going to kind of work this. And anytime you work with metal, you just want to work it very, very slowly. Hit it quite a few times. So instead of really hard, quite a few times.
Oh, that came out nice.
Yeah, and then I'm going to put it into, a lot of times I use a drill, but this is actually a screw down punch that works just as well. It goes right through metal. This is a 1/16 hole, so I can use a 16 gauge wire or pretty much anything like that I wanted to. Okay. I don't really have time in the few minutes to show how much cleanup you have to do with metal, but I will say with the file, you want to file away from yourself.
Oh, absolutely. To make sure it's nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth. And then usually what I do is I'll sand the surface of it as well, just to really give me a nice surface. So you can choose a fine sandpaper. I like to have a really
texture,
yeah.
Makes it more interesting.
Right, it does, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use these 2 that I have here, and I'm going to slip my bead with the washer through the small piece.
Oh, look at that.
And then I can decide how much space I want in between. I'm going to put a couple of these washers in between, and these are from any bead catalog as well, really, in the spacers. And see, that'll give me some dimension in between.
Oh, yeah.
Now this is from any jeweler store, and this is a ring mandrel, and it has the sizes. I know I wear a size 8, so I'm gonna lay this right at the size 8, and I'm just gonna bring this is a 16 gauge head pin, and I chose that because it actually is strong enough to work as a ring as well. So once I have my piece wrapped around it, it's just basically a wrap.
So it's just one big wrap.
One big wrap, yeah, that's what it is. Just like the same way you work with beads. And, you know, it's a little tougher to work with, and you just want to keep working it around. If you get it to the point, when I order my wire, I think this one was a little softer, but when I order my wire, I order soft wire, because then it's easier to work with.
Absolutely.
Then I just kind of shape it. I like the metal mandrels because you can hammer on them.
Yeah.
So, and then I basically have, you want to make sure it's nice and straight, and I have
look at that, in that short period of time.
Yeah, right, it is. It's pretty quick. I do want to reiterate again, though, the metal work, you should, you know, you're going to be putting in maybe 10 to 15 minutes doing the cleanup if you want nice edges. So.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look once again at some variations, because we saw the one that you just made, but you can, that's just the beginning. Once you get that technique down, there's different variations, like there's the one with, it has all the beautiful dangles from the top of it.
Right, yeah, and that actually is the same, that's the same technique. That is just with a piece of wire and making an eye pin. So I'm going to show that right now. I'm just going to take my round pliers and take my piece of wire, my 16 gauge, and just bring around a loop at the top.
Okay.
And then to secure it, because I'm using cold join methods.
Right.
I'm just going to wrap this around.
So you just wrap it and start adding dangles to it, different beads and things.
Yep, and this one actually is slid through the exact same way, and then I just add the beads to it.
That's great. And there's also some pieces with clay, and then you have the other one that has that more of a rectangular shape to it. Thank you so much, Susan. That was a lot of fun, and it was pretty easy too, which is good. You can have some creativity there. I hope you had a little fun designing with a touch of whimsy today. On our next program, we take a look at the meaning and purpose behind your designs and beads. Hope you can join us again next time on Beads, Baubles, and Jewels.